Hey everybody, welcome to another Sweet 16 game, and it's back to the basics again, as the 1927 Yankees will be taking on the 1993 Phillies for the right to move on to the Elite Eight and take on the 1983 Baltimore Orioles. Since the Yankee cards of 27, the only ones I have for them are in the basic format, this game will be played in the basic rules only or the classic rules only. So, we'll go ahead and get going here, and we'll meet the starting lineups. And I've written them kind of small because I wanted to put the fielding rating in the block here, so it's a little dicey, so I will interpret. Lenny Dykstra is in center field. That's the number 2 behind him. He's a number 2 rated center fielder. Mickey Morandini is at second base, and he's also a 2 rated second baseman. John Kruk's at first. He is a 4 rated first baseman. Batting cleanup is Dave Hollins. He's at third. He is a 4 rated third baseman. Darren Dalton is a catcher, and he's a 3 rated catcher. Batting sixth and DHing is Pete Incaviglia. Batting seventh in right field is Jim Eisenreich, and he is a 2 rated right fielder. Milt Thompson is in left field. He is a number 2 rated left fielder. Batting ninth is Kevin Stocker at short. He is a number 2 rated shortstop. And on the mound is Curt Schilling, and he's a 2 rated starting pitcher as far as his defense goes. On the mound for the Yankees will be starter Waite Hoyt. He is 22-7 on the year and with a 2.64 ERA. And he will be starting off facing Lenny Dykstra. So what I'm going to do here to try to reduce the amount of panning I was doing previously, going back and forth, was like a ping pong match. I'm going to go ahead, particularly in the basic version here, and line up the pitcher and batter cards as they come up. And we'll roll and check and see what happens. So Waite Hoyt facing Lenny Dykstra. It is a 6-7, so we're under Hoyt, and a 7 is a split chance. 1-19 for a single, so almost a guaranteed single here for Dykstra. Anything other than a 20, and he gets it. He gets a 6. So that is a leadoff single for Dykstra, and he is a double-A stealer, so he is going to probably be on the move here right away with Mickey Morandini stepping to the plate. And let's check out the stealing factors in the basic game. The fact that he is a double-A stealer means he starts out with a 17. There's one reduction to be done, and that's depending on the catcher rating. And Benny Bengal, the catcher, is a number 2 rated catcher. So when you have a 2 rated catcher, you reduce the running factor by 3, or the safe chance by 3, I should say. So we go from a 17 down to a 14, and so Jim Fregosi figures 1-14 is pretty good odds. They may need to manufacture runs in this game, so they're going to send Dykstra a 1-14. He will be safe. It's a 2, so he's safe. Stolen base. To put him in scoring position now, had that been in the advanced game, that fact that there was a 2 there, we would have been checking to see if there was a throwing error, but in the basic game, that doesn't apply. So now we've got Mickey Morandini up with Dykstra at second and nobody out. And here's Morandini. It is a 1-7. So for Morandini, it's a ground ball third base B. And on a ground ball third base B, if nobody's forced, they have to hold, particularly with the ball being hit to third base. So Morandini unable to advance Dykstra. And there's now one away for John I Am Not a Kruk. He has a chance to drive in Dykstra. Here's the pitch. It's a 1-9, so we're still under the batter card. This is Kruk this time. And he's going to do it. A 1-9 is going to be a triple or a double, depending on the D20 roll. 1-4 is a triple. 5-20 is a double, but either way, the run will score. It's a 13, so a double for Kruk. It's kind of hard to believe he could even get a triple the way he ran, but it's an RBI double for John Kruk. And that brings in Dykstra for the Phillies to lead 1-0 here in the top of the first, and they've still got something going with Kruk at second base. Here now is the third baseman and cleanup hitter Dave Hollins. He will step up against Hoyt, and they're kind of shocking the Yankees early on. It's a 1-8. We're still under the batter's card. 1-8's a ground ball shortstop A, so that's going to hold Kruk at second, and Hollins grounds to short for out number 2. And that'll bring up Dutch Darren Daulton with a 2-out RBI chance. Daulton, the batter, against Hoyt. Everything's been off the batter's card so far. It's a 1-8, and that trend continues. A 1-8 for Daulton, though, is a ground ball to short, and that will end the inning. 6-3 ground out. So it could have been worse for Wade Hoyt, but he got out of it without any further damage. The Phillies do pick up a run, and we go to the bottom of the first with the score. The Phillies won, and the Yankees coming to bat. So we'll check out the Yankee lineup here. Center fielder is Earl Combs, and he's a 1-rated center fielder. Mark Koenig is at short. He's a 2-rated shortstop. Babe Ruth is in right field. He's a 2-rated right fielder. Lou Gehrig is at first base, and he is a 2-rated first baseman. Bob Meusel is in left field, and he's a 1-rated left fielder. Tony Lazzeri is at second base, and he is a 2-rated second baseman. Joe Dugan is at third, and he is a 2-rated third baseman. The DH is Ben Pascal, and the catcher is Benny Bengal, and he is a 2-rated catcher. Wade Hoyt is on the mound. He is a 3-rated pitcher. And Earl Combs will step into the batter's box to try to get things going for the Yankees. And he'll be facing Curt Schilling. Curt Schilling is a 2-rated defender. He was 16-7 on the season of 1993 with a 4.02 ERA. So Earl Combs steps in against Schilling. And it's a 5-6. So we're under Schilling, and a 5-6 is a fly ball to center field. So a fly out to Lenny Dykstra for out number 1. So Combs flies out to his counterpart in center field, Lenny Dykstra. And that will bring up shortstop Mark Koenig against Schilling. It is a 5-11, so we're under Schilling again, and that's a walk. So a walk to Koenig. Not a good idea to walk people in front of Babe Ruth. So Schilling will have some work to do to get out of this with a runner at first and Babe Ruth the batter. It's a 1-4, and he's walked Babe Ruth. So back-to-back walks, and now you have to face Lou Gehrig with 2 on and 1 out as back-to-back walks. Okay, Lou Gehrig, as the Yankees tried to tie the ball game. It's a 6-11. 6-11 off of Schilling is a fly ball right field X. Jim Eisenreich is a number 2-rated right fielder. So we'll invoke that outfielder chart for his range of number 2. It's an 8. So we go to outfield number 2, and number 8 is an out 1. Out 1 says runners advance 1 base. Runners advance 1 base on the out. So looks like a fly ball that the runners will move up on. It must have been a deep fly ball. So the runners will advance to second and third with 2 outs. As Gehrig got into one, but not quite deep enough. And that'll bring up Bob Meusel with 2 men on and 2 out. Bob Meusel facing Schilling. It's a 1-7. A 1-7 is a potential home run, and the other one, 8-20, is a double. So chance for some runs here for the Yankees, obviously. It's in 13, and a 13 is a double, and that will score both runs as Meusel with a double, and that will score Koenig and Ruth, and the Yankees grab a 2-1 lead on the double by Meusel. And that'll bring up Tony Push-Em-Up Lazzeri with the Yankees up ahead 2-1. It's a 1-7 for Lazzeri, and that's another walk. So that's the 3rd walk issued by Schilling in this inning. In this first inning, he has walked 3. The only hit's been this double. So now Joe Dugan, the number 7 man, is up in the order with runners at first and second and 2 outs. 1-8. 1-8 for Dugan is a potential single, but not a good chance. He has to roll a 1 to get a single. Anything else will be a line out to Stocker at short. And it's a line out to Stocker at short. So the inning is over, but the Yankees put up a 2 spot to counter the Phillies' 1 spot, and after 1 complete, it's the Yankees 2 and the Phillies 1. And Pete Incaviglia will step in, the designated hitter, against Waite Hoyt. Hoyt given a reprieve with those 2 runs. So we'll see what he can do. It is a 3-3 for Incaviglia. 3-3 is a ground ball back to the pitcher Hoyt. So that's 1 away on a 1-3 ground out. And that will bring up Jim Eisenreich. So Eisenreich, the batter. It's a 5-4. This time it's off Hoyt, and that's a double. A 5-4 is a double. So Jim Eisenreich with a 1-out double, and that'll bring up the left fielder, Milt Thompson, number 8 hitter in the order, with a chance to drive home the tying run. It's a 3-3, and a 3-3 is a ground ball first base A. So ground ball first base A, and Thompson is retired for the 2nd out. I know in the rule book it says you don't advance, but on a ground ball to first, just common sense says you're going to advance. So I'm moving Eisenreich to 3rd. I don't care what the rules say. That's baseball. Here's Kevin Stocker. It may not matter anyway because it's 2 outs and a runner at 3rd. So still needs a base hit to score him. Here's Kevin Stocker. It's a 6-4. 6-4 is a fly ball to center field X. And we're going to check the center fielder rating here, with who is Combs, and he's the number 1 rated center fielder, so pretty good chance he'll make the play here. It's a 6. It is a 6. So outfielder number 1. A 6 is an out number 4, which means runners hold, but there are 2 outs anyway, so the inning is simply over. And the runner going from 2nd to 3rd on the ground up did not affect the game, so that was a good thing. So here is Curt Schilling back on the mound. He'll be facing the designated hitter, Ben Pascal. It is a 1-3. 1-3 for Pascal is a line out to short. So Pascal, the designated hitter, lines 1 to Stocker at short. 1 away for catcher Benny Bengal, the number 9 hitter. It's a 1-11 for Bengal. 1-11 is a line out to 3rd. So a line out to short is followed by a line out to 3rd. 2 down. They're hitting some hard hit balls off of Schilling, but they're finding gloves. And now that'll bring up Earl Combs, center fielder. It's a 2-9 for Combs. 2-9 is a ground ball third base B to end the inning. So 3 up, 3 down go the Yankees. And we've completed 2 innings of play here, and the score is the Yankees 2 and the Phillies 1. And back to the top of the order for Lenny Dykstra. He will lead things off. He singled, stole 2nd, and scored in the 1st. This is a 3-10. 3-10 is a ground ball to shortstop Koenig for out number 1. So 1 away. And we'll turn it over to Mickey Morandini, second baseman. Morandini grounded to 3rd his first time up. It's a 2-9. 2-9 is going to ground to 2nd this time. So it's a 4-3 ground out to Lazzeri for out number 2. And now with 2 outs and the base is empty, we're going to turn to John Kruk. He had a big double his first time up, RBI double. So here's the Krukster. It's a 6-8, so we're under Hoyt. 6-8 is a fly ball to center field. So he flies out to Combs in center to end the inning. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Score still Yankees 2 and Phillies 1. And Curt Schilling back to the mound. We'll be facing Mark Koenig. So Koenig will lead things off, and he walked and scored his first time up. It's a 3-7. 3-7 is a single. So it's a leadoff single for Koenig as we start the 3rd inning. And that's not good news for Schilling, because now here comes Ruth and Gehrig. And you're not going to run Koenig with Ruth and Gehrig coming up. You're not going to take chances of making outs when you got those 2 guys coming up. So here's Ruth. It's a 1-3. 1-3 for Ruth. However, ground ball second base A. So by not sending the runners, it's a double play, 4-6-3 off the slow running Ruth. Quickly 2 away, and that will bring up Lou Gehrig. Lou Gehrig with 2 outs and the base is empty. It's a 4-4 for Schilling. It's a fly ball center field X, and that's Lenny Dykstra. He is a number 2 rated center fielder. It's an 11, so if we check the outfield chart, which incorporates all outfielders, whether center, right, or left, he's a 2. And we go on number 11, that's a single. So it's a single 2, which means the runner advances 2 bases, but nobody's on base, so it's simply a single for Lou Gehrig. So a big double play was turned just in front of that to try to keep things down for the Phillies. And Bob Musial will step in now. 2 outs and Gehrig at first. It's a 1-2. 1-2 is a fly ball to right field for Eisenreich, and the inning is over. So we've played 3 complete here at neutral field. It is the Yankees 2 and the Phillies 1. Okay, top of the 4th, and it'll be Dave Hollins to lead things off against Wade Hoyt. It's a 6-6, and off of Hoyt, 6-6 is a pop out to second baseman Lazzeri for out number 1. 1 away, and that'll bring up Dutch Darren Dalton. Darren Dalton, he's grounded to short his first time up. It is a 2-6. 2-6 for Dalton is a 1-3 for a triple, 4-20 for a double. So most likely a double. And it's a double for Darren Dalton. A 1-out double. And that'll bring up the designated hitter, Pete Incaviglia. Chance to tie the game with a base hit. It is a 1-7 for Incaviglia, but he strikes out. So Incaviglia strikes out for the second out of the inning. And now it's up to Jim Eisenreich. He did double his first time up. It's a 6-8 under Hoyt. That's a fly ball to center field for Combs. And the inning's over. We go to the bottom of the 4th with the score still Yankees 2, Phillies 1. Okay, Tony Lazzeri to start off the bottom of the 4th here against Schilling in a 2-1 ball game. It's a 1-9, which is under Lazzeri. And he hits a grounder to Stocker at short for out number 1. That will bring up the third baseman, Joe Dugan. He lined to short his first time up. Joe Dugan. It's a 5-8. I'm sorry, that was a 3. If I can turn it back over, that's what it was. It was a 3. 5-8. 5-8 for Schilling. 5-8's a fly ball to right field. And had it been a 5-1, that would also been a fly ball to right field, but it was a 5 and a 3 there to make a total of 8. So fly to right to Eisenreich, 2 down. And it's the designated hitter, Ben Pascal, stepping to the plate. He lined to Stocker at short his first time up. It's a 2-10. 2-10's a strikeout, so strikeout there for Curt Schilling. And the inning is over. So we've completed 4. And the score is still Yankees 2, Phillies 1. And coming up here is Wade Hoyt takes the mound. It'll be Milt Thompson, the left fielder. He will start things off. He grounded out to Gehrig his first time up. It's a 5-9, and a 5-9 off of Hoyt is a pop out to first. 1 away. Now, hold a second, guys. I'm going to shut the door because there's lawnmower noise coming in, and I don't want that on the video. Okay, we're back. I've got to go out and make some lawnmower noise myself here after this game is over, but right now I want to finish this on this Saturday morning. So here we go. Kevin Stocker, 1 out. Nobody on. Stocker fly to center his first time up. This is a 5-6 off of Hoyt. That's a base hit. 5-6 is a single. So a 1-out single for Kevin Stocker. He's only a steal rating of C, so he is not going to even think about it. Here's Lenny Dykstra back to the top of the order. Dykstra 1 for 2 with a run scored and a stolen base. It's 2-8. 2-8 is a potential home run. 1-12 and Nails will have hit a home run. 13 to 20 will be a double, and either way, it's a good result for the Phillies, but they prefer the homer. 1 to 12 is a homer. It's an 11. It is a home run. It is a home run for Lenny Dykstra. 2-run shot for Dykstra, and all of a sudden the Phillies now have grabbed a 3-2 lead. And Hoyt not happy about that. Here is Mickey Morandini. He's 0 for 2. Morandini's a 210. That's a ground ball to Gehrig at first for out number 2. And that will bring up John Kruk. John Kruk, the batter. 1 for 2 with a double and an RBI. It's a 6-5. 6-5 potential home run, but you'd have to roll a 1 to get it. Anything else is a fly to left. So Kruk gets into 1 to left field. Going back on it is the left fielder Musial. And unless this is a 1, he's going to make the catch. It's a 9, so he made the catch. It's a fly to left to end the inning. But the Phillies put up a 2 spot, and we go to the bottom of the 5th with the score, Phillies 3 and the Yankees 2. And Curt Schilling stepping to the mound now with a lead. We'll be facing number 9 hitter, Benny Bengal, the catcher. He's 0 for 1 on the day. Bengal, it's a 3-3 for Bengal. 3-3 is a pop out to Stocker at short. So that's 1 away on the pop out to Stocker. 1 down. And now that'll bring up Earl Combs. Leadoff hitter. 5-8. Combs is 0 for 2 on the day. It's a 5-9. I'm sorry, 5-9. 5-9 makes a big difference because a 5-8 is a ground ball. 5-9 is a chance for a home run. 1 to 13 is a homer, and we have a tie ball game. 14 to 20 is a double. So 1 to 13, and we got a tie. It's a 17, so that's a double. 17 is a double. So it's a 1-out double for Earl Combs. Could still be trouble because now you got Koenig up, and then after that, Ruth and Gehrig. So Schilling not out of the woodwork by any means. Not out of the woods yet. Here is Koenig. It's a 1-8. 1-8's a ground ball to third base B. So no runner advancement there. That's simply going to be a 5-3 ground out to Hollins with 2 outs. Now, Babe Ruth is up. Second base is open, but do you really want to intentionally walk Babe Ruth to bring up Lou Gehrig? Talk about protection. Talk about protection. Pick your poison. Do you want Ruth or do you want Gehrig? They're going to go ahead and pitch to Ruth. So here we go. It's a 5-3. 5-3 is a ground ball pitcher X. And Schilling is number 2. Now he has made an error. I'm sorry, he did not make an error. He did not even have a play earlier. I'm thinking of another game. All right, so pitcher 2. So we go to our basic fielding chart for pitcher number 2 and a D20. And the pitcher falls under the first base and third base. So we'll roll the D20 and see what happens. It's an 11, and he's a 2 rated pitcher. So a 2 and a number 11 is a 1 base error. So it is an error on Schilling. A little bit prophetic there. It's an error 1, and an error 1 means that the runner advances only 1 base. So Combs will stop at third. And now you have runners at the corners. We'll give Schilling an error there. Runners at the corners with 2 outs, and Lou Gehrig, the batter. It would be very unconventional, but you could walk Gehrig and pitch to Musial. But they're going to go ahead and pitch to Gehrig here. Runners at the corners and 2 outs. It's a 6-8. And a 6-8 is a fly ball to right to end the inning. So Schilling pitches out of it. A little sticky there in the 5th. But he pitches around it. And after 5 complete, it's the Phillies 3 and the Mets 2. Dave Hollins to lead things off against Hoyt. It's a 3-6. 3-6 for Hollins is a strikeout. So Dave Hollins goes down on strikes for out number 1. And that will bring up Darren Dalton. He doubled his last time up, but was stranded at second. It's a 6-7 for Hoyt. That is a probable single, because 1 to 19 is a single. Anything other than a 20 will be a single. And it is a 2, so that is a single for Darren Dalton, a 1-out single. And now that brings up the designated hitter, Pete Incaviglia. He's 0 for 2, grounded to the pitcher and struck out. It's a 6-4. 6-4 is a fly ball to center field X, which is Combs in center. He's a number 1 rated outfielder. In this basic game, the center fielder is treated the same as the other outfielders. The roll is a 5, so if we go to the outfielder chart, a number 1, a number 5 is an out number 4. Out number 4 says runners hold. Runners hold. So Dalton will hold at second on the fly ball to center for out number 2. And that brings up Jim Eisenreich. He is 1 for 2 with a double of his own. And that's a 2-7. 2-7 is a ground ball to third. Dugan makes the play, and the inning is over. Nothing doing for the Phillies here in the top of the 6th. We go to the bottom of the 6th, and leading things off here in the bottom of the 6th is going to be Bob Musial. Musial, the left fielder, is up, and his first time up, he doubled. He's 1 for 2 with a double. His double brought in 2 runs, so he's got both Yankee RBIs. It's a 1-2, and a 1-2 in this case is a fly ball to right fielder Eisenreich. 1 away. And now that brings up Tony Push-Him-Up Lazzari. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. That's a 4-7 for Schilling. 4-7, potential chance for a single. 1 to 14 is needed for a single. Anything else? It'll be a line out to Hollins at third. Oops, that's a 20. So it's a line out to Hollins at third base for out number 2. And now here's Joe Dugan. Dugan steps up. It's a 1-4, and that's a ground ball back to Schilling. So it's a 1-3 ground out. And Schilling, since getting that run support, really since the first inning, that shaky first, he has shut down the Yankees since then. And we go to the 7th. The score, Phillies 3 and Yankees 2. Okay, top of the 7th, and Milt Thompson will lead things off. The basic version does not really give pitcher fatigue. I'm not even sure pitcher fatigue is even a part of this, but we'll try to keep it. Normal innings here. So with that in mind, Urban Shocker will be in the bullpen for the Yankees, and for the Phillies, left-hander David West is tossing in the bullpen for the Phillies. So we got Shocker and West warming up in the respective bullpens. Here is Milt Thompson to start the 7th against Hoyt. It is a 5-6. 5-6 is a base hit single. So it's a single for Milt Thompson to start off the 7th. And he is a B base stealer, so not sure they want to test anything. They're going to go ahead and go with a sacrifice bunt attempt with the number 9 hitter Stocker. And in the basic game, the sacrifice bunt, it doesn't matter what your bunt rating is. Everybody has the same bunt rating. And we're going to roll 2d12, and whatever pops up or whatever shows up on this sacrifice bunt chart is what's going to happen. It doesn't matter who's bunting. So it's 2d12 here for Stocker making the sacrifice attempt. It is a 9. All right, so a 9 says, sacrifice bunt number 9 says, batter is safe, lead runner is thrown out by catcher. So he was unable to get the job done. It's going to be a fielder's choice, as catcher Ben Gowell came out from behind the plate and threw to second to make the play 2-6. And Stocker takes over at first base as the runner. He's a C stealer, so he's not going anywhere. And Lenny Dykstra nails, who hit that big home run his last time up, big 2-run homer to give the Phillies the lead. He steps in. It's a 4-9. 4-9's ground ball shortstop X. So the shortstop, Koenig, is a number 2 rated shortstop. So we'll check his prowess here. It's a 14. So as we go to the shortstop number 2 rated and a number 14, we have an out number 3. Out number 3, and it says runner on first is out going to second, providing there is one completion of a double play. Other runs advance 1 base. So that's going to be a double play. So that's a double play. 6-4-3 version. 6-4-3 double play, and the inning is over. 7th inning stretch time here at neutral field. Score is Phillies 3, Yankees 2. Curt Schilling, who has been rolling here, in his advanced game, he would be starting his point of weakness in this inning, but in the basic game, that does not apply. Designated hitter Ben Pascal will lead things off. 6-8. 6-8 is a fly ball to Eisenreich and right for out number 1. 1 away. And we're going to get a pinch hitter for Benny Bengal. He's the number 9 hitter. He will be called back, and back up on the other catcher, actually. Pat Collins is going to pinch hit here, and he will take over as the catcher as well. So Pat Collins pinch hitting here in the 7th, and then also he is a catcher 3, so not quite as good defensively, but he's a better hitter. And the Yankees are behind, so that's the reasoning there. So Pat Collins pinch hitting against Schilling. It's a 1-8. 1-8 is a strikeout. He just missed a chance for a home run, but he strikes out as Schilling puts the K on Collins for out number 2. And now back to the top of the order, and Earl Combs, and Schilling really is doing incredible work here to keep the 27 Yankees at bay. Here's Combs. It's a 6-7. Getting results off his own card helps. That's another strikeout. So Schilling has struck out the last 2 batters, and that ends the 7th inning. Yankees go in order, 1, 2, 3. And we go to the 8th with the score. Still the Phillies 3 and the Yankees 2. And Mickey Morandini will be leading things off here against Hoyt. And actually, the Yankees are now going to make the move to the bullpen. And Urban Shocker is going to come in and pitch. And we'll come back with the results on Hoyt's numbers. Okay, close the book on Wade Hoyt. He went 7 innings, gave up 8 hits, 3 runs all earned. One of them on that big home run by Dykstra. He didn't walk anybody, and he struck out 2. So that'll bring up Urban Shocker into the game. He's a number 4 rated defensive, if there's offensive check for the pitcher. And he'll be starting off facing Mickey Morandini. So Morandini steps in. It's a 2-6 for Morandini. That's a ground ball to short. So Morandini is out on the grounder to Koenig, 6-3. And we're underway here in the top of the 8th. That'll bring up John Kruk. Kruk is 1 for 3 with a double, RBI double. It's a 3-5. 3-5 is a strikeout. So Shocker strikes out Kruk for out number 2. And that'll bring up third baseman Dave Hollins. He's 0 for 3 with a strikeout. It's a 6-10, so this is under Shocker. And that's a base hit. So it's a base hit for Hollins, a 2-out single against Shocker. And that'll bring up Dutch, Darren Dalton. Darren Dalton is 2 for 3, a single and a double. It is a 6-4. 6-4 is a fly ball center field X. And that's the center fielder Combs, who is a 1-rated center fielder. So we'll check his prowess out here. It's a 1. So a 1-rated outfielder with a 1 is a 4. Out number 4. Which means runners hold, but nobody was on base anyway. Well, it's a third out, so it's irrelevant. And that ends the top of the 8th. Down go the Phillies. We go to the bottom of the 8th with the score. Still, Phillies 3 and Yankees 2. And Curt Schilling will face one more batter here, Koenig. We're going to play this realistically, even though there's no splits in the game. Realistically, they would bring in David West, the lefty, to face Ruth and Garrick. So Schilling will get one more batter, and then he'll get to take the rest of the day off. Here's Koenig. It's a 2-4. 2-4 is a line out to second. So Koenig lines out. Out number 1. And new pitcher coming into the ball game for the Phillies will be David West. And we'll come back and give the numbers on Schilling. Okay, so the totals on Schilling, pretty good. 7 1/3 innings. 4 hits, 2 runs, walked 3. All of those were in the first inning, and he struck out 3, and he stands to be the winner if the bullpen can hold it. David West is coming in. He was 6-4 on the year with a 2.92 ERA, and he did have 3 saves. He had a good batting average against. He pitched 86 innings, only allowed 60 hits. He did walk 51, so he does have a walking issue, and but not quite as bad as maybe as Mitch Williams. Mitch Williams is in the bullpen, wild thing for the Phillies in case West gets into any trouble. It'll be Babe Ruth to lead things off against West. It's a 2-6. 2-6 for Babe Ruth is a potential triple, 1-4, most likely a single at 5-20. So we'll see what Ruth can do here. It's a 1, so Ruth actually split the outfielders and got a triple. How do you like that? Now the infield has to come in against Lou Gehrig. The infield has to come in with 1 out. Here's the pitch. It's a 2-6. 2-6 is a strikeout. So West, even though it wasn't off his own card, he'll take credit for it, for the strikeout, for out number 2. And the big batter now is Bob Musial. Bob Musial, the left fielder, stepping to the plate. And we'll see what he can do here against West. There is no action in the Phillies bullpen other than Mitch Williams. Actually, I take that back. Larry Anderson, a right-hander, has begun to throw. So we got Mitch Williams, a lefty, and Larry Anderson, the righty, in the bullpen. Double barrel action. But right now it's West against Musial, and it's all up to this here in the 8th. 2 outs. And Babe Ruth at 3rd. It's a 4-10. 4-10 is a ground ball to shortstop X. That's Kevin Stocker. Stocker is a 2. Here is the roll. It's a 16. It's a 16, and as we check shortstop rating number 2, and a 16. 16 is out number 3, which says runner on first out. It would have been a double play had there been runners on base other than third base. But either way, it's a 6-3 ground out, and Mr. West pitches out of that 1-out triple that he gave up to Babe Ruth. And we go to the 9th with the score still Phillies 3 and Yankees 2. And Mitch Williams is all warmed up here to come in at the bottom of the 9th. But first things first, Phillies will try to extend the lead here against Shocker. And Shocker, the batter, or the pitcher, facing Incaviglia. He's 0 for 3 with a strikeout. It's a 6-8. 6-8 is a base hit. So Incaviglia gets a base hit to start the 9th. And Incaviglia only runs as a 12, so we're going to be looking at a pinch runner here. And the pinch runner in this case is going to be Mariano Duncan. Mariano Duncan runs as a 17. So he will pinch run and take over as the DH if this goes extra innings. But Mariano Duncan is now pinch running for Incaviglia as they try to get some extra speed out there. So Duncan, he's not a good base stealer. He's only a C stealer, but he does run well otherwise. So he's a 17, so he can possibly move up. And right now, Jim Reisenreich is up in a sacrifice situation. So the bunt is on. Let's see what happens here. It's a 7. So a 7 on a sacrifice, a number 7. Batter is thrown up by first baseman, runners hold. So Lou Gehrig fielded that through the Lazzeri covering. It's a sacrifice hit, 3-4. And Eisenreich does his job, moves Duncan up to second base with 1 out. And now there's 2 chances for a base hit. The first one is Milt Thompson. Milt Thompson will give it a go. Chance for a base hit here against Urban Shocker. And it's a 4-2. A 4-2 is a pop out to the third baseman Dugan for out number 2. And now it's up to Kevin Stocker. And they're not going to pinch hit for Stocker. A, he's a 324 hitter. And B, he's a good shortstop defensively. So even though he's number 9 hitter, he did hit 324 on the season. So here is Stocker against Shocker. Stocker and Shocker. Okay, say that 3 times fast. 6-6. 6-6 is a pop out to first baseman Lou Gehrig, and that will end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 9th. The wild thing, Mitch Williams, is on his way in from the bullpen to try to lock it down. We go to the bottom of the 9th with the score. The Phillies 3 and the Yankees 2. Okay, we start at the bottom of the 9th. Let's tidy up things here. David West, 2/3 of an inning, gave up that triple to Ruth, but he got a big strikeout and got out of it with no runs. So now Mitch Wild Thing Williams, he was 3-7 on the season, 3.34 ERA with 43 saves. In 62 innings pitched, he did walk 44, so hence the name Wild Thing. So we'll see if he can hold it down. Larry Anderson is still in the bullpen for the Phillies in case Wild Thing gets too wild. He'll start out facing Joe Dugan, the third baseman. Let's see what happens here. It'll be Dugan, Pascal, and Collins. 7, 8, and 9 in the order. Dugan, it's a 4-7. 4-7 against Wild Thing Williams is a walk. So right there on cue, he walks Dugan. And, I'm sorry, it was Lazzari who was up, not Dugan. Lazzari walks. My bad. It's Lazzari who walks. And now Dugan is up. And potential sacrifice situation here as well. So they're going to play the percentages and go for the sacrifice bunt. Here's the bunt chance. It's a 10. Bunt chance 10 sacrifice on number 10. Batter is safe. Lead runner is thrown out by the pitcher. So Wild Thing got off the mound through to Kevin Stocker covering second for a 1-6 putout. And so the bunt by Dugan not successful. And he's still at first base with one out for the designated hitter, Ben Pascal. Only problem, he hasn't been hitting. He's 0 for 3, but he was a .317 hitter on the year, so they're not going to pinch hit for him. So Williams against Pascal, one out, runner at first, bottom of the ninth. That was a 6. It was a 6-11. 6-11 under Williams is a fly ball right field X, which is Jim Eisenreich. He's a number 2 outfielder. The roll is an 18, so we'll check the number 2 rated outfielder. So an outfielder, number 2, scroll all the way down to number 18, that's an out 5. Out 5 is runner on third would have scored. It would have been a sacrifice fly, but with the runner just at first base, Pascal simply flies to right for out number 2. And so it's the last chance for the Yankees. Pat Collins, who came in to pinch hit for Ben Gao earlier and struck out his first time up, he's up there again. And he will be facing Mitch Williams with 2 outs here in the bottom of the ninth and Dugan at first base. So Pat Collins, last chance for the Yankees to advance. It's a 3-9. 3-9 is a potential double or single, but there are stars. So the runner would not score even with 2 outs. So 1-6 is a double. 7-20 is a single. It's a 1, so it's a double. So Pat Collins has just doubled, and that makes the drama even greater, as his double will move Dugan to third base. And now you've got runners at second and third. The potential winning run is at second base. A base hit could win it for the Yankees. And leadoff hitter Earl Combs, he's 1 for 4 with a double. And Vergosi going out, or sending the pitching coach out to talk to Williams here to see if they want to walk Combs and pitch to Koenig. And that's what they're going to do. Combs is a .356 hitter. And with first base open, they're going to walk Earl Combs because his run really doesn't mean anything. Although another walk could force in a run, so you're taking a chance there. But they're going to pitch to Koenig, who's only a .285 hitter. So the percentages, they're playing the percentages, and they're hoping that Mitch Williams will not walk, because if he walks, it'll tie the game and bring Babe Ruth to the plate. So lots of things can happen here. 2 outs, bottom of the ninth, bases loaded, 3-2 Phillies lead. Mark Koenig against Mitch Williams, and here is the pitch. It's a 3-5. 3-5 is a fly ball to center field, hauled in by Nails Dykstra, and the ball game is over. Mitch Williams survives. The Phillies survive, and they do it. It wasn't easy, but they pull it off. A 3-2 victory in basic game format over the powerful 27 Yankees. It was the pitching of Curt Schilling, David West, and Mitch Williams, which held the Yankees scoreless after the first inning. And we'll be back to put a bow on this one and give you the totals and set things up for the Elite Eight in this bracket, the Ruth bracket, even though Ruth will no longer advance. And we'll be right back. Okay, we're back here to wrap things up. Final score. Final line score, Philadelphia, 3 runs, 10 hits, 1 error. They left 6 on. For the Yankees, 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors. They left 9 runners on. 3 there in the bottom of the 9th. And they also left 2 runners on in the bottom of the 1st after they had scored 2 runs, so that could have hurt them as well. And also in the 8th, they had a 1-out triple from Babe Ruth and left him on base. So missed opportunities for the Yankees here in their couple of innings there at the end, and it cost them. Phillies win it 3-2. Winning pitcher is Curt Schilling. He went 7 in the 3rd, gave up 4 hits and 2 runs. And Mitch Williams picked up the save despite allowing a hit and giving up 2 walks in the 9th. Wade Hoyt, the tough luck loser, he went 7 innings, gave up 3 runs, but the home run by Lenny Dykstra was the big one. And Shocker pitched 2 innings of shutout relief for the Yankees to keep the game close. Hard to pick player of the game. You'd like to give it to Lenny Dykstra because he actually, and I think that's who we're going to give it to, he led off the game with a single, stole second, and scored, and then he had the big 2-run homer in the top of the 5th to score 2 of the Phillies' runs and drive in 2 of the Phillies' runs. Although Schilling certainly holding the Yankees at bay to only 2 runs could certainly be a strong candidate. But we'll give it to Nails, Lenny Dykstra. He got the machine rolling there and was able to put the Phillies on top to stay with this home run in the 5th. So that does it for this game in the Sweet 16. Philadelphia will move on to the Elite 8, and they will be taking on the 1983 Orioles, who have recently knocked off the 71 Pirates in earlier Sweet 16 action. So it'll be the Phillies against the Orioles. The 83 Phillies, it's not going to be against the 83 Orioles will not be facing the 83 Phillies. They'll be facing the 93 Phillies. The Wheeze kids in 83 couldn't do it. So we're going to see now if the beer bellies of the 93 Phillies can topple the 83 Orioles. That should be an interesting matchup. Tommy Green will now be available to pitch again since Schilling pitched this one. So it's going to be Tommy Green going for the Phillies against most likely Mike Boddicker again for the Orioles. Although we're back to playing advanced rules now for the rest of the way. No more basic versions since the Yankees are gone. And with the Phillies having potentially better hitters against better left-handed hitters, they may opt for Mike Flanagan. So we'll have to wait and see what Joe Altobelli's decision is. But we know that Tommy Green will be going for the Phillies. So that's going to do it from here. I hope everybody has a great day. And I will be putting out another Sweet 16 game on a video shortly. So hope everybody's enjoying that as we work our way through the month of May and this May Madness. And we start to whittle it down to an Elite 8. And things get a little bit tight. And it's always good to see a tight, close game on a video rather than a blowout. So hope everybody enjoyed that. Don't know which team you might be rooting for as far as winning the game, but I kind of don't have a dog in the fight. I do kind of like the 73 A's a little bit, but it's not like I'm going to play favorites when making decisions. I'm going to play it straight up, and whoever wins wins. And speaking of the 73 A's, that's the next video. It's going to be the 1973 Oakland A's against the 1941 New York Yankees. So another Yankee team has bitten the dust. We're down to only 2 Yankee teams remaining, as we started with 5, and now 3 of them have bitten the dust. The 2000 Yankees, the 61 Yankees, and the 27 Yankees are all gone. 77 Yankees and the 41 Yankees still hanging on. And the Phillies, this is their only team out there that's still in it, the 1993 Phillies. And they were actually a substitute for the 61 Reds, so they got in late. But they're hanging on, and they've advanced to the Elite 8. And we'll see everybody down the road.